is Father John Hollowell, and there are 7 things that any non-Catholic Christian or any non-Catholic should consider before making the decision to become Catholic. So first of all, the major teaching of the Catholic Church is that when any priest prays the words of consecration over the bread and wine, that bread and wine instantly become in that moment Jesus truly present in body, soul, blood, and divinity. And that is basically one of the major foundations that the Catholic Church takes as a bedrock teaching. Another teaching of the Catholic Church is with regards to confession. Jesus breathed on his apostles and said to them, "Whoever sins you forgive are forgiven them. Whoever sins you retain are retained." And so the Catholic Church says that it is through the priest, that when you go to a priest, you have to confess your sins. And then that priest, when he gives you absolution and prays the words, "I absolve you from your sins," that your sins are truly forgiven. Another teaching about the Catholic Church is that there are mortal sins and venial sins. So comes from the letter of John in the New Testament, where John says that there are sins, but not all sins are deadly. And so, again, the Catholic Church distinguishes between those deadly or mortal sins and the smaller or venial sins. And so the Catholic Church says that any mortal sins must be confessed to a priest before you're able to receive the Eucharist again at Mass. Another thing that the Church teaches is that it upholds the dignity of marriage in a very real and special way. The Catholic Church actually says that if you are going to get married outside the Catholic Church as a Catholic, that you need the bishop's permission to do that. And so, again, there are lots of different marriage issues for a lot of people. And again, we're happy to work with you to resolve all of those issues. But again, the Catholic Church just takes marriage as really serious, because almost every chapter in the New Testament mentioned in some way how marriage is a sign and symbol of Christ's love for the Church. And so, again, that's why we take marriage so seriously in the Catholic Church. And again, if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to just schedule a meeting with your pastor. Another thing that the Catholic Church teaches is really important and crucial is that contraception is never allowed. Artificial contraception, and again, that almost all Christian denominations held that teaching up through the 1930s, but then in the 1930s, one by one, the Protestant denominations caved on the issue, and so now almost every non-Catholic Christian church, ecclesial community affirms and recognizes the right to use artificial contraception, whereas the Catholic Church in Pope Paul VI's letter, Humanae Vitae, in 1970, reaffirmed the constant teaching of the Church that artificial contraception is never allowed. The thing that Humanae Vitae actually put forward is what is called natural family planning, which is a way to regulate birth without engaging in the marital act. And so, again, that if you have questions about that, any Catholic priest will be happy to explain that to you. I think another important thing to recognize is that at the Mass, at the Catholic Mass, we see is ourselves joining in something that is already going on, right? We are instantly transported during Mass to the very foot of Calvary. And so that sacrifice is continually being made present again to us until the end of time. And so again, when we see ourselves going to Mass, we understand that we're participating in something that is already going on, whereas I think a lot of non-Catholic Christian worship services do not have that understanding, but more of a meal or something along those lines. I think the other thing is that all of the Catholic Church's teachings are given to us for our happiness here on earth. And the devil is always trying to tell us that all the teachings in the Bible and all the teachings that come from the Catholic Church are designed to make us miserable, but he is the father of lies. And so that would be important to just understand that all the teachings of the Catholic Church and the Bible are geared towards us finding our happiness right now here on earth. So again, we're excited that you're thinking about joining the Catholic Church. Know of our prayers for you, and please just feel free to set up an appointment with any local priest, and they can help walk you through this process in more detail. God bless.